Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking the new Gacha into the garp challenges with some no-stall teams. So we're starting off with Heavenly Demon 1, Mono side, that's the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, in Heavenly Demon 1, I'm not going to talk about the content, obviously, because the content's been out forever. So, I am actually going to just sort of talk about the actual units themselves and what they can do, their damage output, and like some of the benefits of this particular character. Now, the big upside to this character, obviously, is their switch ability. But their captain ability is a striker and slasher base 5 times when you are either Roger or Whitebeard, 5.5 in their dual form. Roger will remove 1 turn of bind, paralysis, and special bind, whilst Whitebeard will give himself a 5.25 times base attack boost to himself and himself only. They both make Sty and Int orbs beneficial to your strikers and your slashers, and they are a very powerful captain. The big downside to their captain ability is they are a dual unit, and because they're a dual unit, it means they do have a switch ability, but it means they lose out on having something like a super typing or a super class. What that actually means is that you can't actually get those extra damage numbers when you are taking on stuff like Kazuna, when you are taking on some of those like big time events where you do need big Unga Bunga damage. And that's where this unit sort of falls off. Now, their switch is very, very good, and we will touch on that. Their super switch is absolutely incredible. Their switch ability is absolutely amazing. But the problem with the dual unit is always being a captain. Now, I do understand that they have given a bit more justice to this character, whilst their captain ability is very strong and they're very viable as a captain. The problem with them as a captain is that they are a dual unit, which means that they just lose out on super class, super typing, which can just increase your damage increments by drastic amounts. So that's my only sort of knock with the character. Obviously, if they were a reverse unit, they would have the same downside, but they did make up for it with their switch ability. Now, their switch ability is absolutely cooked. They rotate adjacent orbs just like Shanks' crew does, as well as give a 1.5 times attack and a 1.5 times orb boost. This is absolutely insane. The fact that you can get a minimum of 2 matching orbs every switch, 4 if you have 2 of them, even up to 5 orbs if you are running 2 Whitebeard and Rogers. If you're running them as a sub, you're getting 3, and even if you're bringing a hybrid option, you're always getting a minimum of 2 orbs. That justifies or brings into effect that 1.5 times orb boost. If they didn't rotate the orbs, their 1.5 times orb boost wouldn't be that strong, but the fact that they do means that you can just do absurd numbers, and when you are taking on fodder stages, like kind of like what you saw there against Treble and those like fodder units, it just makes life so easy when clearing content, and it was what made this no stall video absolutely possible, because literally just with their switch ability, you can just do absurd numbers, you can just bring utility for the content, and with their specials and their switch ability, you can just clear stuff easy mode. We'll talk about their super switch when we get into the int variation, but as you guys will see here, we've just torn our way through doffy. We do so much goddamn damage. When you get to the final stage, you can just easily take out doffy, no issues whatsoever. So that was the Mono Psi team against Heavenly Demon 1. Let's move on to the int team now. Alright, so moving on to the Mono int team, it looks a little bit like this. That's the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, whilst they have, like, in my opinion, one of the best switch abilities in the entire game, they also have a super switch. It's basically super switches are just buffed abilities of the regular switch, and with these guys, there's no exception. They give you a full board of orbs, as well as a 2 times attack and a 2 times orb boost, which is just absolutely insane. You do need to switch 6 times to get this, however, which can be a little bit finicky. It's not the end of the world, and it's not that too tricky, but because they are a dual unit, it makes them quite slow, and like a lot of people don't like running characters like this, because they do have to switch quite a bit to actually get those very strong effects. Now, I do understand that that is very annoying, but honestly, you don't even need their super switch. That 1.5 times attack and that 1.5 times orb with the 3 orbs, it's enough to clear most stages, and the 2 times attack and orbs is just sort of like a nice bonus when you are running long content. So I find the 1.5 attack and orb is great. I never go farming that 2 times attack and orb boost with this particular character, as that 1.5 times orb, as you guys will see in this video, I don't actually get it once throughout these garp challenges. I think I try and get it for the Psi variation of Navy, but I eventually just sort of gave up. This was kind of cool as well, which is literally just their switch ability. This shows the power of their switch, right? We go through Rebecca's defense up just by hitting with the Whitebeards at the end. getting the crits with the 5.25 times captain and that 1.5 times attack and orb boost every single turn. It's just absolutely absurd how much damage this character can actually output. It's actually mind-boggling. The next thing we're going to talk about with this character is their special. With Roger, he has a different special to Whitebeard. What Roger actually does, he actually changes an attack boost that you have to a 3 times attack boost and adds 0.5 to the color affinity, while Whitebeard turns a orb boost into a 3 times orb boost and gives you a 2 times color affinity. So basically with these 2 units, you can get 2.5 times orb boost, a 3 times attack, a 3 times orb, by popping both of their specials. So running 2 of them is viable, but most of the times you'll actually see this used as switching with one, getting the 1.5 or the 2 times attack boost and orb boost, using one of their specials, normally Whitebeard, to get the color affinity boost, and then that way on the next turn you can switch and then you can get the color affinity again. As having the 3 times attack and 3 times orbs, like, it is more than enough. You can easily bring other characters to give you higher orb boosters, higher attack boosters, and then still use the Whitebeard and Roger special to like boost the opposite, whether the attack or the orbs, whatever you need for your team. But this particular character just does so much, and they are just pure offensive power. They have a little bit of utility, obviously, once they turn into their dual form. They give the orbs, and they give all that utility of the bind, the paralysis, and the special bind that Roger can provide as a captain. Moving into that stage, obviously, when you switch into Roger, you don't remove one turn of it. Like, that's not how it works. You have to be Roger when you move into that stage, which can be very finicky and can be very annoying when you are team building, but it is a nice little cherry on top. So that's the unit as a whole. Like, they are just absolutely absurd with how much power they actually have. The switch ability is incredible. Their specials are incredible. The captain ability is very, very strong. They also have a final tap, which just triggers on the final stage. As you guys will see here, we just get the final tap. And what it actually does is it adds 4.0 to the chain multiplier when you do max it out. At level 1, it'll give an extra 2.0 times chain to the multiplier. Basically, what that means is at the end of a chain, you're always hitting for a 4.5 times chain multiplier. If you have like a 3 times chain lock, it turns into a 5 times chain lock. It's just absolutely absurd. But we tore our way through Doffy 1. Let's move on to Navy now. Alright, so moving on to Garp's challenge versus the Navy. We're going to back it up with double int content. So this is the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, obviously, Navy is a little bit more tricky than Doffy 1. But, nevertheless, Whitebeard and Roger, with their absolutely absurd switch ability, managed to get this done. And they managed to get it done fairly simply. Once I sort of figured out what units I needed to bring to get around each particular piece of content, like, they actually did it fairly well without too much trouble. I find with Whitebeard, most of the time I'm building Whitebeard and Sai, I'm building striker-based teams, where I find when I am using Roger, I'm using more int and slasher-based teams, which is actually pretty cool. It sort of just fell into play that way. I don't know if they actually sort of planned that, but it just seems to be the way that it's sort of falling in. But the fact that you can still hybrid them up, like, as you can see here, we are running a predominantly slasher team, and then we've just sprinkled a little bit of Nami in there. That way we can run the Aura Jackson, which helps out a lot on Navy because you do want to be able to hit your perfects. But I always just found that was just like a trend that worked very nicely. Now, ideally with this particular character, most of the time you'll probably be bringing free spirits, slashes, so that way you do have access to a ship like the Aura Jackson. But because they are a slasher, you can use stuff like the Liberal Heim when you are building mono Sai teams. Because they are int and Sai, you can also use something like the Magello ship, and you can also use the Nostra Castello V2. As you saw there, we got around the hunger with the support of Hachan, and thanks to the double special of activation of Vista, we could blitz through the fodder stage, get rid of the threshold, and then we can use the Rayleigh special on this particular turn to actually give our Vista some cooldowns. Another thing to note is like getting like 4 matching orbs with this character is just so damn strong as well. This particular stage, you get a full board of T&D orbs, which is unfavorable or unfavorable orbs. And the fact that Sai and Int orbs are matching, when you're building Sai and Int teams, it means that you just don't have unfavorable orbs. If you run the Aura Jackson, you can just like get like T&D and recovery orbs to match as well. And you can just do some really, really nice things, which just works nicely. On this stage against Kizaru, we are going to showcase the absolute power of Whitebeard here. Just with the switch abilities, we get that 1.5 times attack and the 1.5 orbs. And thanks to the 5.25 captain ability that Whitebeard has for himself, he can just do some big numbers, and he just absolutely decimates Kizaru, which is actually a really annoying stage. On the Fuji stage, this stage is actually pretty annoying most of the time too. Because we do so much damage just with normal attacks, we can just pop a Mihawk special here and do half of Fuji's HP and basically wipe out the units in the back. After that, we are going to use our Whitebeard special. Whitebeard's going to give the color affinity buff as well as like increase the orb boost, which is great because the switch ability gives orbs and it's just absolutely absurd. But because I was my Psy variation of Whitebeard, it kind of actually turns into an int character. Nevertheless, you do so much damage, literally just with the switch and the popping of the Whitebeard and Roger special, that it actually doesn't even matter. Just having one character that has type advantage here just does so much damage with their special. It's actually crazy. You can even get their final tap off and like do even bigger numbers. And like this is why the burn doesn't even mean anything. You just kill. It's just absolutely crazy. Like these characters they're just pure power. And if you put the team together right, they just do things in easy mode, like absolute easy mode. Would I say they're the best unit in the game? Definitely not. They do take a lot of sort of planning, and they do take a lot of thought process, I guess is the best way to put it. But nevertheless, like they are just so damn powerful, like so ridiculously powerful. This is beautiful. Look at that final tap. That's so goddamn beautiful. But that was Mono Psy, just getting it done. Mono Int, just getting it done. Easy mode. Thanks to some wave clearing and stuff like that. Let's move on to the final clip and let's check out Mono Psy. Alright, so the final part of the video is Mono Psy taking on Garp's Challenge Navy. So this is the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, once again, we are running a mono slasher team with a sprinkle of striker, which in this case is actually Enel and Nami. Once again, Nami's great because we can use the Hatchan support. The big reason why I actually include her here is just literally for that support. The treasure map Nami is actually really good because she gives like 4 turns of chain lock, and she's just a really nice unit for Wodja. I did find, but nevertheless, this team actually did it very well. It did take a little bit of time to finesse the whole no stall situation, but once I sort of found that Enel can like be used in a few different ways, it was a bit of a piece of cake. We're going to pop Enel's special here just so we can get like the end of turn damage, as well as actually taking this stage out. But even still, like these characters, they have like very high defense and very low HP. And normally you can't do more than like the single digits. But as you can see, literally just with the switch ability of Wodja, like we're good. It's just absurd how much damage you get with this particular character. And as a sub, this character is going to see a lot of play moving forward, while I think the V2 Straw Hats are just like the best friend legend. They kind of fall into the category of, I'll just bring a friend. And by that, I mean, like, they are the best, they're your best friend. Like, you can just do some absurd things with them as a friend captain. But with Whitebeard and Roger, bringing 2 of them just provides you a little bit more utility in terms of not only that Roger captain ability, but the fact that you have access to the 2 switch. You're getting a few more matching orbs. You can choose what color you need to be, and when you need the extra damage from Whitebeard and his captain, you can just output that into those numbers. As you guys saw there, we did remove the threshold with Komurasaki, and we also removed the hunger with the Hatchan support once again. That way we can move into the next stage against Smoker, Tashigi, and Hina. We get the carryover of the Chainlock thanks to Nami and her 4 turns, but they give us 2 turns of bind, 3 turns of bind and 2 turns of despair. With Shanks and the Whitey Bay support can actually remove all of this, which is really nice. It's a strat I actually used on the previous part of the video as well. I actually used Rayleigh, who removed bind, and then I used the Whitey Bay support. Whitey Bay could actually remove the despair for me, which is really nice. And I did have the Buggy and Shanks in the previous team, but unfortunately I just needed 1 turn of cooldown, and Rayleigh just turned out to be perfect. But once again, we are coming to this Kizaru stage, and on this Kizaru stage, we are again just utilizing the power of the switch abilities of Wodja, as well as the 5.25 times captain. That 5.25 times captain from Whitebeard for himself is nothing to shrug at as well. Like, when you're running 2 Whitebeards, obviously one of them is giving 5.25 to himself, and then the other one's giving 5 times, and vice versa. So you're not getting 5.2 and 5.2, but that extra 0.25 just does so much goddamn damage, and it's so ridiculously nice. Once we hit this Fuji stage, it is a little bit finicky with this particular team, because you do want to hit with Enel to actually get a lot of end of turn damage, but you don't want to actually kill Fuji, because you do want to take advantage of the color affinity. So that's where you sort of want to make sure that you do enough damage on Fuji to let Enel's end of turn damage kill the chicks in the back. And it just all works all very nice. Like I said, this team is like, this character is just pure power. And once you sort of figure out what you're coming up against, like they can do things in easy mode. It just takes a little bit of brain power to actually get them from A to B. But once you get from A to B, they do things so damn well and so damn nicely. On the final stage, I did manage to actually make sure my captain was the Psy variant, so that way I just had more damage here. because we are running a mono side team. But as you can see, like we just do absurd numbers. Like they just do absolutely absurd numbers once you pop that special. 3 times orb, 3 times attack, 2 times color affinity, up to like it's just wild, man. Actually wild. But nevertheless, that is going to wrap up the video anyway, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this particular character in the comment section below. I'd love to have a chat about them. I'm having a lot of fun with this unit. I think they are very, very strong. And they are very, very powerful. But if you did enjoy the video, make sure to smash that like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's